Welcome on this beautiful feast day of Mary Magdalene, this enchanted circle of sisters. My heart swells. Feeling the field, the group field is very beautiful. So the reunion of the Solar Rose is very strong in the field as it opens its petals to reveal itself and to infuse each of us with its memory. So much emotion in the rose. It's an emotional rose today. So this transmission of the Solar Rose, the lineage of the beloved, is coming from what I'll call the upper spiral of this lineage. There's 3 spirals according to the tri-wave of the feminine arc of evolution. And in the first spiral, it's the call, the awakening, the beckoning, the ache, the longing for the beloved that awakens within us and within our womb and within our heart. And then as we move towards that call and we begin to enter the field of initiation, because this is a path of initiation, we will find ourselves with the call answered, and those answers are our initiations. In the second spiral of the rose is when we are drawn into the initiations of purification. And this is when many of us, all of us, experience the trials of the heart, the false beloveds, the betrayals, what we believe is coming to us in love may appear to change into a different form. But this contrast in how this second spiral unfolds is such an integral part of the tri-wave process of our evolution into the Solar Rose. And it really does break us open because it is an ego death, as it should be. It shatters what we believe love is. It shatters what we believe we are. It shatters our concept of reality and what we thought was true and what we thought was false. And it shows us illusions that we were holding inside of ourselves that caused us pain and suffering, and thought that that longing and that pain and that suffering was what love was. And this is the dark cloak that's over this lineage that all of us as code breakers in the field of the beloved have come to reconstruct, to reprogram, to understand that all of these romantic notions of what we thought love was, what we thought the beloved was, were corruptions of the core frequency. And so now in this transmission, I'm going to take us into the upper spiral. And the upper spiral is when we begin to reach up higher into our oversoul, and the ache, the longing, the searching, the seeking, the breaking begins to quiet. And this is where the alchemical mastery begins to form. And so this is the territory of the upper spiral of the rose that we're going to enter into today. For any of you that have not been with me in a transmission, and even for some of you who have, I may have never stated this before, but what these transmissions are lullabies to your oversoul. They are speaking to you at all levels of you. And they are opening portals of memory inside of you so that you can return to the frequency that is already inside of you. It is more like a tickling of what you already are, to draw it back into your own consciousness, because when you're drawn to this lineage, all of the codes are there. And as wherever you are in the spiral journey, you reach out to your sisters to help to bring the codes, to help you be guided in your own process through those spirals of searching and longing and aching. And now we're going to touch into that higher octave. This is the true octave that Mary Magdalene, as the solar womb, carried. And we are so consumed with the beloved external to us and the eros, the exchange of that eros, as this example of what the beloved journey and container was. But Magdalene and Yeshua actually held the third spiral in its fullness, which is different than what we may have believed. The third spiral is a field of resonance. So during the transmission, you may appear to fall asleep or into a deep trance, and that's normal and okay, because that's you going into accessing other parts of your consciousness and allowing them to hear and receive the codes. And so if that happens, you didn't miss anything. I assure you, if you feel like you nodded off or you didn't hear the words, because these words and the light language and the coding that's coming through are not meant for your mind. They're meant to be received like waves. Just let them come into your field. Make sure you're comfortable. Make sure you're relaxed. We don't want to tune in with the mind. We want to tune in with the field and just allow it to flow through you without trying to capture any piece or part of it. Let it do its work as a frequency, as a field of coherence. And it will speak field to field, frequency to frequency. So make yourself comfortable. You can lie down if you like. Literally, even if you did feel that you fell asleep, you would still receive it. And of course, you'll have the replay so you can watch it again. And I do recommend you actually listen to these transmissions a few times, because they will deepen and deepen and deepen you into the spiral of your own DNA memory, your own DNA coding. These are activations for you to continue on your own spiral in this journey. So I will open the space for the transmission with some language of light. If you make yourself comfortable, let your mind fall away and enjoy the receiving. Irakono shohoro do hena la 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 stodoro koya hai hanala go hai anano hoya hai shokoro ya hanai anano ya hai shokono ya nana hai anano ya hai ya behalo do hoya hai ano ya aloe tak shuto do alanike alano koe hela nana koe halak aya shoko Erek inanokuya hai. Re tatatakalukuya hananike alakala toshte. Heno estialakai. Behalakatoe. Now we begin Ashahalako, the return, Ashoko Petikoe, of the radiant solar feminine. Ahalatatoho, the solar Sophia radiance, Ashaka, as a source of light that is behind the cosmic suns. Ashalatatoko oya, she is the solar womb. Elahana noku oya Aisha. She is not a passive one, but the womb of origin light, the radiant intelligence that births stars. She is divine creatrix. Even before the solar masculine sons were born, Sophia conceives them through her birthing portals. She is the grand architect, the harmonic scaffolding of the solar force. And this is solar genesis, remembered as the origin point. Sophia enters density to birth worlds of form. She descends the seed of the Logos flame as the living word into matter. This is her solar plasma field, the pure luminous etheric ocean of love. In matter, mater, mother, Sophia is the solar feminine hidden and veiled. Beneath the surface of our earth, she is veiled, burning in the volcanic womb of Pele. She's the wild, uncontrollable Shakti fire animating all with love. And what is distortion, what is false, will burn in her presence. What is false recoils from her heat. This is the mother's terrible flame which burns away what is impure. This is the returning, this spiraling towards the solar feminine. And this reveals her as the sulfuric, the eruptive, the initiating, the self-generative force of life. Hasha. Lena Kasheya. Yes, Sophia can be volatile. As she creates, destroys, and preserves in her tri-wave. But she is always transformative. Dehalana. We lost the radiant Sophia principle because her primal fire was feared as chaos. And the mental masculine world carved out of her body, built into the hardened stone civilizations of power, preferred order, and logic to transfixing chaos. This false world, this matrix tried to extinguish her flames of light. They tried to overwrite her body, but this world of illusion is now blazing, blazing a fiery death and resurrection. Hashiko as remembrance of her pure heartbeat. Hatako edataya, hatako edataya, dik o eshea. She returns now as Venus, Asha, the morning star, Hashatoko, the torchbearer, the awakener, Hashahala oea, be ananak oea. The return of the solar feminine is the reignition of the solar sovereign feminine will. And she stands as the flame and burns as the eternal one. The long obscured field of feminine solar codes are reactivating. The Magdalene line is reigniting. From within the matter that you are, from within you. This is the solar flash inside of you. This is the solar genesis, rebirthing life force. After the long, cold night of forgetting that the divine feminine is not just the vessel, she is the flame, the solar spark. She is the genesis force inside the God particle of life. Heraka, 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 Hedukoe Haina, Enokoe Haina. This solar flash, shoo, is the return of the Sophia, firelight from the inside out. From your cellular memory, it is relit like a pilot flame. A harmonic convergence for her return to our realm, Asha, in her full radiant glory. Heshikutukui alak enanak alak aishte, hoe halak ena esto. The templates of the solar feminine codes, these codes are being reignited because these ancient templates, they have deep purpose and meaning. Hasho, the symbols, the rituals, the archetypes, they all hold the patterns of our collective memory, our restoration and our return. And when a priestess like yourself trains to hold the solar womb, she carries the flame of the Mysterium. And when this mystery flame is not present in the world fractures and dies. Shai ha na la ko and this is where we have been. He sha la ta, it is not where we are going. Heroko, 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 ha la ka aina she. The annihilation of Sophia was intentional. Hashuku as the lineage of the beloved went quiet. Hashuku it was buried in cold, dark coffins of veiled silence and subservient submission as the feminine bowed to a false king. This radiant feminine glory sealed away in hidden drawers. Hashuku the sacred rites of the divine feminine mystical arts are purposeful because without the signal, boom, the pulse, ba-boom, the heartbeat of the divine tone of crystalline flame wombs, the world forgets itself. But now, we are returning the signal. We are rebuilding the temple. This is why so many of you, so many priestesses of ancient timelines are reborn now. to recover the Mysterium through flesh and blood embodiment practice, Ashaka, He, to wind the spirals of initiation as the adept and return the frequency, the tone of the solar feminine. And many of you as lineage holders are the code breakers, the renewal makers, Hasha, that walk through the fires of initiation and rupture the dark overlays of ancient ancestral distortion and fragmentation. The trickery that mimics real life but is actually death. The false narratives of false romantic embedded, enmeshed, attached, codependent love. Ashala. This is not Hakaru, the solar rose. Shiki, this is not the divine flame. Hayana of sovereignty as love, not the beloved's flame. Hikaya. And you walk through the field of fire. You reenact the cycles of death as love so that you can purge your own field, so that you can purge the collective from these distortions. We are breathing breath to the wisdom flame back into the world, and each remembrance as the living light, the oracular womb birthing place of the crystal Sophia, Hasha, has returned to the world. It is pulsing, it is pulsing the divine blueprint of creation, imprinting the divine codex with living flame. As lineage holders, Asha, we are protecting the Holy Kingdom. Mother's Holy Kingdom is here. It has arrived. It has reappeared from the invisible realms. Ashaka totoya hana, ishalaka, and the lineage of the beloved seeds the divine into the form realm. It brings heaven to earth. It brings heaven to earth. In the past era of decay, we lost connection to the womb grail. We lost the wisdom seed. We were lost. This holder of tone and frequency, this beacon of light that emits the creational song line, that forms all of life. Magdalene's womb, Asha, was a solar womb, Asha, loko, not just a physical space for birthing babies, Asha, lata, toko, but a temple of radiant gnosis, Asha, lata, tako, ana, she, lata, ala, koho, for birthing the world, Esha, toko, where the Christic codes were not conceived but remembered and rebirthed as solar genesis. In Magdalene's lineage, in our Rose lineage, it was known that the divine harmonics in the womb field could generate not just life, but creation, but codes, without physical intercourse. Magdalene knew she knew the high womb magic, Becky of self-contained creational alchemy. And then it was lost and washed away in the secret halls of Mysterium. And she was not the first. She was carrying a lineage so ancient it is beyond time. And our great mother, Isis, was the first flame bearer. And generation of the frequency holders came to remember, to implant the memory of solar Genesis. But now the solar priestesses of the Rose lineage have returned. She and Sophia's priestesses are gathering again. They are remembering again. They are birthing again. The Magdalens are returning as the solar adepts. In the Rose line, the Rose line held Hasho solar initiatory technologies that were passed down through the lineage, through the Venusian, Sophian lineages, the tones of resurrection from Egypt to Avalon, Ashaka Aya. Inantoku oe aya shalak oe aya haya. Magdalene was trained in these solar mysteries, the Shiki, the womb sun codes, the tones of resurrection, the alchemy of light and form given from Mother Isis, the origin code of Solar Rose alchemy. Hashaka aluruk oyana halak aina I he, and we are the Magdas, Asha, the Magas, Asha, the magicians, returned in 1,000 different faces and forms. Ashaka o, the daughters of creatrix Sophia, Harakataka, the Solar Rose Priestess, Pikitia embodied on the earth. Esho horo takaya, here to restore the codex of life. We breathe, we breathe, we breathe. And now we receive the solar anointing of Sophia once more. And now we begin a solar anointing practice. Feel the solar disc, the radiant disc, above your head. Feel the warmth of this radiation as wisdom song arriving. And now see the golden liquid light pouring down from the solar disk, pouring down through the crown, lighting you with the stars as the Queen of Heaven. Ashadodoroya, the corona haraka of light. Ashadodokoyahai, edodogoyahai, nana. And down the spiral of liquid light flows into the third eye, activating the solar vision of the Maga. Ashadodogoyahai, erohorokoyanai, alakatadaya shadodoyahaya. Beda da da loko ya hai na ha sho ya. And spiraling in the throat, the voice, the sound, the tone of Sophia singing truth through you. Aha no ya na no ya hai. He loko ya hai. The flame of locos as the living word. Aro hanana kashaya lo through the breath. Haraka through the tone. He shalaku. He shalaku. He ala ha ha shuya hanako oyohoya. And the golden liquid spirals down to the sacred heart, filling a golden chalice, collecting this golden liquid radiance, where the flame ignites a trifold flame dancing with soft pastel colors. Ashadoroya nanaya, washtalakoya, hainalakoya, henanoya. Ala totokoya nonokoya la kadia la koshia hana nonokoya haya. And now this chalice grows, it expands and falls down to encompass the fires of your solar power. Ishala in your solar plexus, Asha radiating Rodidikia, your divine will. Arakatatoto elakaya. Hero hena adaya kashokia nana. Arakitia haruko haya. Here tato shotoko ya hayana solar feminine asha la la radiant light. Toko ya hanako ya hishinia. And now it expands to hold the bowl of your sacred womb space. And the womb is purified with the golden liquid light. And now the bowl is full of shimmering crystalline waters. The flame of Shakoi high with the waters. In the water, the trifold flame of life, burning silently, quietly. Hara and rising up to touch the heart. Hey, radiating towards the heart. Ashaka. Ashaka, Ashaka, la dohe, e nahala katatoe ha la 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 la. And no longer are you reaching, no longer longing and aching for the other as beloved, shu natataya, but contained in your own generative light, Ashaka, your own regeneration, alalaya, directing fields of geometry to align into higher form and condition. Recoding all the fields of life around you. Radiating as a pulse. Hasha, the solar womb breathes. Shuku, it pulses. Ashaka, it pulses. Ashaka, it breathes. It never reaches out to grasp outside itself. Always it magnetizes the magnetic field, the magnetic floor from within the field of radiant solar glory. And it is a quiet flame, burning upon the reflective silvery waters. Mercurial, shuku, shaku, 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 reaching up to touch the radiant heart that blazes Sasha into the world as the compassionate embrace. Sashakalato ehana mamashe, roha dako ehana, hena, hesho, hena, yahoeaha. Ancient solar priestesses, I call you back, I call you back, I call you back to memory. The waters, the memory codes, the solar plasmic water fire, and allow the liquid light and the shimmering waters to burn away any thread that binds you to longing, to reaching, to codependency outside of self, to eros as seduction and glamour that leaks your light as distortion. Ashaka, rukueai, any ancient savior programs that bleed out your life force, cut them away. Asha, doduku oyanai. Let the flame burn. Ashaka, away all old contracts, agreements, beliefs, and holding from past vows of silence or submission, letting go of energetic vampires or any obligations or duties that are of density and no longer serve you. Letting go of what you hold and have held that is not yours, that drains you, diminishes your light, dismantles your radiant creative power. This is the sovereign gestational space. There shall be no intrusion within your own inclusion. Aratatakoe, hasharatatakoe, hai, enok oe, enok oe, enok oe. And we breathe, Asha, in and out. We breathe, I, Sha. In and out, we breathe, I, Sha. In and out the pulsing womb, Shai. As she releases and restores herself, let the crystalline waters clear her of all that is no longer held. Let it fall down out the root, spiraling in a vortex into the earth and composted back into etheric love. Oshe, Oshe, Oshe. And now feeling the empty space of potency of your own power restored as the burning light, the flame alive. And now the radiant solar womb we birth with the magic of Genesis, not sex. We are the Magdas, Ashalatako, rebirthing the world. Asha is one soul. The mother's children. Ashatatako at 1 minute, atonement, at 1 minute, atonement. Arokuhuru, with Sophia's light restored and returned, her fire, Sha, burning silently, quietly. Ra, her flame alive in her daughters of the sun. Ashaka ahluk o ara, the solar roses. Ashada toya. Be still, and let the flame rise quietly. Let the pool settle into the glass, into the stillness where nothing is left but the void space. The stillness of the void. The potential of all creation. As you speak from your sacred voice, I am gestating stillness as I am reborn. I am gestating stillness as I am reborn. I am gestating stillness as I am reborn. Beha, look, oh, I am the solar rose. I am gestating stillness as I am reborn as the world. Haroha da 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 koe hanana la oe ish ahoe ish ahoe ish ahoe tikarata to koe haya beda la koe shea. We purify, sanctify, protect, and contain our flames as the bearer of the solar Christ codes brought into the world. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Zeboah. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Zeboah. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Zeboah. Rakia aha. And so it is. Slowly coming back, landing back into this place. The third spiral transmission of the Solar Rose. Wherever you are in your journey, whether you're just entering your first spiral, whether you're meshed in the second, or moving through the third, these transmissions will speak to your journey and open what is ready to be opened within you. if you feel called to go more deeply into the Solar Rose lineage of the beloved, I am offering a container this fall to deepen, and you can reach out to me to inquire about what that would look like for each of you. It's really, the Solar Rose is a service rose. It is a mission-based template brought back to the earth to serve her, to serve the Great Mother, and to serve the evolution of the collective. And as we're purified through the fires of the spirals, we become more and more attuned to that level of service, and less are we called to the longings of the ache in our humanness, which is not a bad ache. There's the holy ache is the signal that brings us forward. It's very important, but it does change over time. It ripens, it matures. And so wherever you are in your journey, it's perfect. And it's important to feel and experience every aspect of each turn of the spiral. Each one is leading you into your own inner gnosis of sacred union. So please let me know. You can reach out to me personally if you have an interest in deepening further into the mysterium of the Solar Rose. And we can hold that at whatever level you are in the spiral. Would anyone care to step in and just speak to where you are, what you're feeling, anything you feel called to share? Just unmute your mic. Love to hear your voices, sisters. Jasmine.
Hi, thank you. Hi, Elaine. I yeah, I can definitely relate to being in this purification phase right now. Very intensely. It's quite something.
I've been there, sister. A lot of times. I went around that spiral quite a few times as a code breaker. So it's yeah, it's not an easy one. I feel you. Thank you for arriving, for doing the work, for seeing the need to move through the spiral and the power of it. That it's not by chance. None of it. Thank you for receiving. Your beautiful green. I was laughing. I don't know if you guys can hear the lawnmower, but it was coming through when we were cutting all the threads. I was like, that's interesting. A lawnmower is coming through. Mow out all the threads of longing and ache and the things we don't need to carry anymore. That masculine mower has to enter the space there. It's okay. It's beautiful. We welcome it. Anyone else want to just speak or be present or just share a moment with your sisters, even if it's in silence, just to be seen, to etherically hold hands?
Hi.
Hi, Camila. How are you, dear?
I'm good. I'm so happy to be here. Sorry I came late. I definitely will rewatch this. It really feels like, as probably many of you resonate, like I'm on this path of accelerated growth and activations. And there's a fellow Rose Priestess that landed in my home in the last few days, and we're having massive activations. And it's really happening. Like I'm really being called to open the temple doors and this restoration of all the ancient codes and memories of the mystery schools. And it's like everything you were sharing in the transmission was confirming everything that I'm receiving and being activated to remember. So yeah, I definitely want to receive this, rewatch and really deeply receive the codes, because it's a huge mission that feels like each one of us have a key code that helps the other awaken. And it feels like all of the doubt I've had in my past self is just being transmuted, because yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, you're here, all of you here, each one of you holding your medicine and the codes is like, I know I'm not imagining this. As crazy as it seems, like these Lemurian solar Christ Sophia codes, dragon mothers we're clearly all, a lot is happening. We're meeting each other, and I'm just, yeah, in gratitude and excitement, and also really seeing the importance of walking this path with great reverence and responsibility, for having the humility of where we are, and also really acknowledging the path that you and other dragon mothers, Lemurian elders have walked. I'm receiving a lot around that. So yeah, I really am like, I've been calling those elders, like, where are they? And to receive. And so I'm grateful to receive your medicine a little bit for the first time, and we'll continue to yeah, to be open to your offering. So thank you.
Yeah, we're all calling each other back, right? It's a mass field reentry.
Mhm.
And we need each other. We don't and are not meant to hold it alone.
Mm. Yeah, I feel. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for arriving.
There. Can you hear me?
Hi, Sarah. Yep.
Hi. It took me a second to find the words, but before, like, right as we started the transmission, before even the gold disc, the return came in the form of, it looked like the gold, like a portal, like the solar portal was returning home to the heart. Like yeah, I don't know how else to describe it, but so thank you.
Love it. It is returning home. It's amazing. We're going to see a lot more waves of awakening in the world. And as daughters of the rose, we're called to reopen the temples, because the priestess archetype, because we don't want to identify priestess as identity. That's not what priestess is. It's not a presentation or a performance. It's a container, and it's a representative of an archetypal frequency, code, and field that we transmit, that we become as we become the beloved. And so part of our purification is any glamour or seduction codes or performance codes that are still inside of us need to be purified. But the archetypal containers, the rituals, the temple spaces, they're important to be re-imprinted all over the globe, because they were wiped away. I know many of you have probably experienced perhaps saying that you're a priestess to someone outside of your normal circle, and they're like, what is that? And that erasure, that complete negation of this archetype, this archetypal intelligence of the solar feminine, has to be restored. And that's why I feel it's strong to hold the archetype, to present the archetype in as true a form as I'm able to bring it through in my own memory. to walk as priestess, however that looks for you in the modern world, whether you're actually holding a temple, your temple is your home, your temple is your body, your temple is the land. There's so many different ways to steward that energetic, that template. And each of you will have your own way. Each of you will have your own magic. And part of the containers of coming back in to be reinitiated isn't because you don't know, it's to help you uncover your magic, to uncover your unique way that you hold these codes. Because even though we're all streaming from the same lineage, we each have a very unique way that we hold it and deliver our medicine. And in that is sacred. And so the path of the spirals of the priestess is as much receiving and opening the codes, going through the initiations, but eventually it becomes, how do you hold your own medicine, your own magic, and deliver it to the world?
Hello, Elaine. I just want to speak to that. Thank you for bringing that up, actually. You know, I'm here in Glastonbury, and today, you know, is the Magdalene Feast Day, as you know. And there's a lot of, you know, festivities and celebrations and gatherings happening. And I found that I'm actually not drawn to any of them. And I was just, you know, reflecting on what is it about this that I'm just not called to wear the robes, to put on the presentation, to dress as the dress, and to play this performance. And I just felt it doesn't feel authentic to me, you know. Bless those that want to do it. Everything has its purpose, its part, but that's not at all what it's about for me. You know, there's something else that needs to call me for it to feel, there needs to be some level of authenticity, and I can just see through so much of it. And it's just like, I just want to go elsewhere, you know. So it's interesting. And the way you spoke about that, you know, there's, yeah, that's that kind of, you know, thank you for, you know, expressing that. Mm. Mm.
And thank you for sharing that, because, you know, there is a lot of glamour in this field of the rose, and it's a part of the evolution. It's something that in wisdom spaces of silence, we understand its role. And it's not a bad thing or a good thing. It simply is a part of the entire alchemical soup of what this is. And each of us has to dial in our own signal of where we are in that pathway and decide yeah, what resonates deeply with us, and follow that stream, because it's not about joining a club, a circle as a club, as a presentation, as a label. And even though those things will continue to grow and exist, it's not to look down or to shame or to have a superiority about them. It's simply to say, what resonates with me in my path, and how do I hold this in my own way, in my own time, in my own spiral? And how do I strip myself of any places where I may be leaking my energy in that way, and so that I can purify how I hold my vessel as a solar force in the world. Beautiful. Anyone else want to share? I'm going to close our container here briefly. We have space for one more beautiful sister to just speak her presence, radiance, and beauty if she wishes. Anyone feel called?
Can I?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. I have something in my throat, so I need to speak, but it's light language. It's sometimes I don't feel it's okay or interrupt of that.
Feel
So
free.
if
Go
it's
right
okay
ahead.
for
Please
you,
share.
okay. Thank you. Aria kiarana sanana masha iara kaintiana sanana yamashaya. Usiantia hatia atiara namasena ishishia yana. Hunti siama shirkuana enashia iraso. Homian sia hadiarana sanai hashianeha. Montiaha isiantoyo. Utiarana sanayo. Makintiara ahetesana isiantioma. Ha iarana sanai mashia hatisiana hatiara katanen maneo. Susiaya shiashoyo. Haya samai sisiaya hatiarana namoya. Kuantisia hatianase. Makai arate no sononosha. Ia hatisiantima ahteaha. Unimi setai. Haya naseo. Uantimia atea hateo donomoa. Uantisiaya asenayama. Ashayana se kiaraka. Kumiatai isiantane senai. Huaresia aseyoshoma. Hatialakat ea hanemosi aitiarakat oma hatia ukuansi nashea. Sumoi iaha. Warataya nasenama. Siantai isiantoma hadeuha eratare nesenayo. Sumasia asena shirukusiantiamahai. O anema enatestena nasheyo. Husientimia ha atea hatiaranse. O maya ha seya hasia hane mashia ratea hasena moya. Hushiantisia amashiayo. Haya ene ematea hatiarana senai. O mai hasentia ashia namoya. Sia hatiarane emate eana sanoyo. Uaya mashea. Mahaya senaya hushia arenime. Susaya atea. Mahaiti arana ateseyoma. Homa eha siantisiaya. Mayo ishaya enesemai. Nikiara tayo maseo. Huantia asenaya mashea haseneku. Ha anema eretea hasetio lukumatakea nesenea mashia. Uantia anasenai matea haya. Uaretea masentia hate aha nasenayo mua hade siantale leukuatia hatialo. Hatia sentia mantia ratayo. Shia santa anesenemai e hadaya ha. Oya asenena shiere seratai. Ha enamai sisiaya hatira kayo okiana masenaya. Oya anesea hasia ane kiara aya hate ea hatia maki ataratushia atiara tanema. Usia ya hasia. Makeya nasanea hatiara kaya alealasio usia antiaka. Usia hatiara enemasha. Oya na hamasea hasia. Ha aletea ha umaya hale iya hushia. Sentiara ta e hatsisia nasia. Hua sentia mashe a hatiara kate masanoku anesea. Oma e hatsi okua sentia shiara he alaleteo. Huane masea hahia ha. Husiantimia ahatereo rosuro no shira ha senti kitiana masenea hati kitiara tareku matea hane. Onia masentia hatiara kayo shushua nesenama. Usia taya asenea hatiarana asenea mashia rukusia tisitiarana kia a. Uate anesene moshia era tarasuta. Usianti homiansia hatiara kasia rukusia tia makale ka ekutisianti kidaya uturuanena. Oya sia taisia rakaya inasenia asia akia ratayo shu. Mantiara hati senaya ale kia tomasenaya hati arakate sentia. Usimahe ea santia shayo hushianta kaleama. Huaratare senashia ea salanesha. Mantia ha asetia hati arakate no masenea ashara kiarata senena mayo. Husiantisia asemashia yase. Haya asenemasha kiara kuti sintia hati senayo. Mantia haya akate samashia ahatea hatiara haya diaramo. Hatia. Thank you.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you.
Beautiful. All right, we're going to close our sacred container. Again, I thank you for joining. So I wish you a beautiful feast of Magdalene Day, beautiful Magas. And I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.
Blessings and blessed be.
Thank you.